Welcome back, everyone. We're going to move on, and our next C that we're going to talk about is capital.
Yes.
Capital is the amount of personal funds that you can document that you have to either have already or will invest in the business. And it's kind of, think about it's very much like a down payment against your business. Banks are very risk averse. Yeah. So they really want you to have something at risk.
Yeah.
They're not going to, if you don't believe enough in your business to risk something, then why would the bank even think about it? Yeah. So if you believe in the business, if you're serious about the business, you're willing to put some of your own personal funds up against it. Generally, what we're looking for, what the banks are looking for is about a 30% owner injection. Yeah. Plus or minus 10%, really kind of depends on the situation, but the average injection is 30%. So as an example, if you were starting a business and you look at everything that it's going to cost you to get from, the start to the day that you actually open your doors for business. In addition to that, the bank's going to want you to have at least 3 months worth of operating capital so that it gives you sort of a lifeline so the business can operate, you're not struggling for funds as you start to build revenue. So for example, say it was going to cost you $150,000 for your startup cost along with your operating costs. So then you would be required to inject $50,000 into the business, and your loan would actually be for $100,000. And your $50,000 has to be used in the business. Yeah. You have to be able to show that you have it. It has to be something that's liquid, that you can put in the business. And in fact, the bank can require that you actually use your funds first. Exactly. Before they ever disperse theirs. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So you heard Linda's right. So for $150,000 loan, for example, they will come in, 70%, right? So you're borrowing someone's money to run your business 70%, but you have to come in 30%, and that 30% for them to measure, like Linda said. And so get ready, because no lenders will give you 100% financing.
Right.
Trust us, because, we work with lenders. We work also with small business community. There's no 0% down for any loan that we've seen for 20-something years of our career. Right.
You might be able to get your family to do it, but that's about it.
Yeah, because we heard, we have questions sending toward us, asking, with the bank or with the SBA, lending 0% down. The answer is
absolutely not. Yeah.
To our knowledge, is absolutely none of that program is out there, and so so get ready to put in something that actually can go into the business. Right. All right. So that's enough about capital.
Right.
All right, moving along. Next is collateral. Collateral. Lenders always wanted to have something that you can show that if like say for example, most of the business loans are insecure. However, they want to see you if you have a house. So you have your residence. If you have any assets in your name, in your own name, right, Linda? Mm-hmm. What else are we? Can be.
Well, if it's an existing business, they're going to look at the business first for assets.
Yes.
So they're going to look for equipment, inventory, sometimes accounts receivable, depending. Vehicles, whatever, even real estate, if the business owns their own building. So the bank will start there. Yeah. However, if there's not enough there for them to use, then they look to the owners.
The owners'
personal assets, which bottom line in most cases means you're putting your house up
Yeah.
against it. So, and that's a hard thing for people to think about and deal with. So you really kind of have to think twice. You know, are you willing to take that risk?
Yeah.
So.
Because remember, you know, if you're running a pho restaurant, for example, the bank has no business taking over your pho restaurant to run it.
Right.
You know, because they have no business running a pho restaurant. And so, you know, so they have to cover, you know, themselves first to make sure that, you know, you have, you know, your anything in the business to put up. And then as the owners, you know, they will ask you for that. So, you know, don't be alarmed because, you know, I mean, money is money.
Exactly, exactly. And when they look at your assets, they look at a reduced rate of value. It's not market value because they're going to liquidate it.
Yeah.
And they're not going to get market value.
Yeah.
So they're going to use the liquidated costs that they think and then deduct if there's any loans against that item.
Absolutely.
So it's going to take
it's much lower than
exactly. I mean, it's really dimes on the dollar kind of evaluation.
Kind of deal, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And the last is conditions. Go ahead, Linda. We want to, you know, put this out there. And so for business owners looking, you know, to, before you go to the bank, you know, do some homework.
Exactly.
And you know what industry you're in, know where you are. You know, so when you come in to the lenders, you know, you have more knowledge and more preparation, you know, to negotiate or to ask for, you know, what you need. Because, you know, as lenders, we don't want you to come in and say, give us whatever you think we can borrow. No, they want to see how prepared you are to say, okay, this is our financial projections, and this is what we want to borrow, and this is how much we can pay back, and this is what, you know, trends in our industry and where our business is going to head to. Right, Linda?
Mm-hmm, absolutely. They're going to want to know that there is a market for your product or your service, and they want to know the clear purpose of what this loan is for. What's the money going to be used for? If you're an existing business trying to do an expansion, does it even make sense to put in this kind of money? And are you going to get the return that makes this a good decision?
Yeah.
And in addition to actually looking at the business itself, the bank looks at exterior conditions.
Absolutely.
So the first thing they look at is the economy and what's going on with the economy. And based on the business, they're going to look at it locally, regionally, nationally, and maybe even globally. If you're a pho restaurant, they're looking at it locally. If you're making aircraft parts, then they're going to be looking at it globally.
Globally, yeah.
And what's going on. And, you know, for example, right now, we're in, you know, an extremely unsettling environment. We've got everything that's going on in the Ukraine. We've got the worst inflation that we've had in 40 years.
Exactly.
We're starting to see interest rates go up. Now, that can have a really adverse effect on a business.
Yeah.
Or it might even have a positive effect depending on what you're doing and what you're selling. And,
exactly.
You know,
exactly.
So
I mean, we are experiencing the pandemic, and you know, you see online business, you know, is booming, while you know brick and mortar
is just slowing down and just, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've got to look at what's going on. And then they look at you. What's your experience? Have you ever managed a business before? Do you know this industry? Or are you just, you know, have you worked for a company for 10 or 15 years and now you're going out on your own? Or are you just jumping into this with, you know, no background in it? The same with managing a business. It's very different managing a business than being an employee that thinks they can do it better than their current boss.
Yeah.
And then we see that a lot, unfortunately. Yeah. So, and the bank also obviously wants to know how the funds are going to be used.
Yeah.
So I think that pretty much covers
you know, the 5 C's.
Right.
Yes, the 5 C's. So before, you know, heading to the lenders, you know, we want to provide you this information so then, you know, you can find, you know, best solutions for your business needs.
Well, that concludes our program for today. We want to thank you for joining us. We hope we were able to give you a little insight into how the banks think about lending money to small businesses. And we hope you join us next time. And thank you again for spending your time with us.
Thank you very much.